what to write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That was great sounds of Watts without sign on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made, Mr. EZ BlueZ, and the always intelligent, the always powerful Professor. Volume 7, 3 Nerds Venting. Let's waste no time. Let's get into it. Overrated, underrated, waste of time. We're talking about cartoons. Doesn't matter which decade. It could be 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Doesn't matter. Overrated, underrated, waste of time. Don't even bother pressing play. We have options now. Easy BlueZ.
Oh, that's rough. See, to me, the one that was the most underrated, I got to say was I cop out and got to say two. I think Batman Beyond and Static Shock.
Okay, underrated. All right, cool.
Both should have been much huger than they were.
All right.
You know, waste of time cartoon wise. Dude, I remember the original Dragonlance. That was a waste of time. Like that was.
It's a waste of time because I didn't even hear about it.
Oh yeah, you didn't miss out. You didn't miss out. So that was to me was a waste of time and like overrated. A lot of like the remake of the Disney shows. You know, like they did a remake of DuckTales. They've done a remake of like Rescue Rangers and all that kind of stuff. Okay. To me, all of that's massively overrated because the originals were so good.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and you went completely in a different direction. So yeah, I say that those are overrated.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? I need some more time to think about this, Professor.
Ooh,
I know you're ready. Guns are blazing. Go to you. I need some time. I need some time. I don't want any dead air. Go ahead.
So here's where my overrated is, and it's gonna people are gonna be annoyed, but that's all right. That's all right. It's opinion. The Superman, Batman's, Justice Leagues. Come on,
overrated?
Way overrated. I loved them. Listen. I loved like the one Superman show was decent. I can't remember which one it was, but it came out around the same time as Batman the animated series.
So you're talking about with the Black Lex Luthor? In my opinion, he was black.
Yeah,
and Mark Hamill Joker.
Yeah, yes, I love
overrated.
Yeah, no. Those were fine, but then after they had their run, now you're coming with another, and then another, and then another. There was nothing wrong with Teen Titans, right?
Right.
Then they had to do the Teen Titans Go, which totally wrecked it.
Which was garbage.
Garbage. Young Justice was phenomenal. Season 2 was phenomenal.
Right.
What happened to season 3? But then before season 3 gets here, you're now dropping all this other like garbage that you didn't even need, right? Justice League, right? Justice League was great. I'll even take Justice League Unlimited. But then they changed the art style and they did this other Justice League. And then they did another. I'm like, all right, come on. Like, if it's working, why mess with the formula? Why do you keep changing it? So after a while, to me, it just became like too much for me. It was a little bit overrated. And I felt that way too back in the day with the Spider-Man. I thought Spider-Man Unlimited was it was trash, and I thought it was a waste. I thought it was a waste because the Spider-Man show that was before that was phenomenal. The saving grace was Spider-Man was getting like really, really popular again. And they decided to go like a route with like a younger Spider-Man. And then the younger Spider-Man had younger partners like the young Luke Cage, the young Iron Fist, the White Tiger, and the Nova. That was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Why?
Although the banter between Nova. Yeah, but the banter between Nova and Spider-Man was great. Buckethead.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids called each other Buckethead for the longest time.
Right, but they skipped over. They did the Sam Alexander Nova and skipped right over the Richard Rider Nova, who was the quintessential man. If it wasn't for the Richard Rider Nova, New Warriors wouldn't have survived.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? So that's when you do too much, that kind of overrates a show for me, a cartoon for me. When you do too, like Ninja Turtles. Come on, how many iterations of the Ninja?
Well,
and I love the Ninja. I used to read the comics before they were even a cartoon.
Okay, go on.
Okay,
go on.
So don't mess with the greats, man.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Just let them. If you're gonna stop the show, let it ride and be done with it. Don't keep recreating the greats.
All right, so I think a mutual decision between you and Easy is the overdoing of recreating what's good.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the character, not necessarily
no, not at all.
About that, just the overdoing.
Yes, that's
overrated.
What messes it up for me. Right, that's what makes it overrated to me.
And then you create a whole bunch of versions that are a waste of time when you do it.
Correct. That's right. So that's why I'm blending that into my waste of time stuff.
All right.
So I wanted to tie the two together. Now, underrated. Oh my goodness. There was some really underrated shows that was on back in the day. There was this show called The Bionic Six, right? It was way ahead of its time.
Okay.
So you had this family that adopted these other kids, and they were from different cultures. It wasn't just right, and they were phenomenal together. They were phenomenal. They were a super team. I thought a concept like that really, really, really worked. Do I think it was way ahead of its time? Yes, because I don't think a lot of people were accepting of something like that at the time. So when you have shows like that take those risks back then, and unfortunately they don't survive the test of time, because you never see a show like that maybe 10, 20 years into the future, they had something solid. Just like I'm gonna go and say it. Thundercat was so way ahead of its time back then that the remakes failed because of it.
Yeah.
You can't recreate that magic if you don't stick to it. If you try to make any changes, like Kevin Smith was brilliant with how he handled He-Man, because he took the original lore and was able to give us some backstory, kind of add new characters and stuff without polluting what was already created, right? So even though the art style was different and whatever, it felt like He-Man. The magic from the He-Man series was still there. And then plus it gave me, because I thought Prince Adam was corny back in the day, and I was happy every time he transformed to He-Man. But watching how Kevin Smith portrayed Prince Adam, and it made sense now. And it's like, okay, now I have respect for the character.
Right.
So that's another one that I think was an underrated show. And even like his newer, Netflix versions, I still believe it's underrated. I know people watch them, but I think more people should be watching stuff like that, because it's being done really well. It's being done very, very well. Give Kevin Smith Thundercats. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Give him Thundercats.
He'll knock it out the park.
He'll knock it out the park.
He'll knock it out the park. I agree. Now for me. Waste of time. I think we know this show. I don't think Gen Z knows this show. Johnny Quest. I never got into it. I never got into Johnny Quest. I remember when I was little watching just the old school Johnny Quest on Cartoon Network. I never got into it. I don't know why was this show popular. Him, the dog, going on adventures. It never just clicked to me whatsoever, that whole franchise. I'm like, why is this popular? My dad, it's a great show. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm smiling to his face, but in my head, I'm like, no, it's not. I thoroughly did not enjoy Johnny Quest. So Johnny Quest for me is my waste of time.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. Underrated Gargoyles.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
word,
Disney
Oh,
Gargoyles is
word,
definitely underrated.
word.
It's an
oh,
unappreciated franchise that Disney has. They can make a whole bunch of, they can make another $1 billion off of if done right with the right people. All I
give it to
ask is just,
Favreau. Give it to Favreau. Go ahead.
all I ask is just keep Keith David as the main guy for his voice.
Goliath.
It
Yep.
cannot be done without Keith David.
Yep.
Gargoyles is bar none their best original idea they had with Disney. Especially
Yep.
like in New York, they can do a live action. They can't. I remember
Oh yeah.
Jordan Peele was talking about how he wanted to redo Gargoyles and was baffled that Disney
Oh,
didn't want to go into it again. Like Jordan Peele really wanted to take it over, but they said no. So that's my underrated pick. I think that's one of the best well-written and well-done
good call.
TV shows ever.
That's a
So
good one. That's a
underrated
good
for
one.
me is Gargoyles.
Good one.
My overrated pick, uh, I hate to say this because I love the show. I love this show with all my life, but I feel people, with just the internet and social media and just in general, it takes away from what was good about it. I think it was really great within the first 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about SpongeBob. I think people dug in the
Okay.
well when it came to SpongeBob SquarePants. That's been my overrated pick. I love the show. I love the show, but I think after that fourth season, because you got those iconic episodes, from the late 90s, like to probably like 2000, 2001. Like the jokes started to get a little mediocre a little bit
Mm-hmm.
after, like a little
Yeah.
bit later on. And then people, so I love SpongeBob. Name me an episode. They can't name you any. They get lost. They can't name you anything about SpongeBob. SpongeBob is hard to say. That's my overrated. That was my hardest pick with SpongeBob. So for when it comes to overrated cartoons, because I love cartoons in general. And another
Good one.
overrated that I want to say as an honorable mention for overrated, I love this show too, but it already ran its course. It ran its course for decades. I gotta say, The Simpsons. The
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons already ran its
Yeah.
course for so long. You
Yep.
really can't do that much more. Yes, I love the whole, they predicted this and that. That's a pretty cool aspect, but I have to dig to watch it when it was really good to see the episodes they predicted from,
Right.
back then. But
Yeah.
I think The
Good one.
Simpsons had a great job of what they did, but you got to get that final episode in, man, because
Yes.
Yeah.
you can only do so much with the actors that you have because we don't have that much long on this time on Earth. That's
Right.
what
No,
I have to
right.
say.
Right. No, that's good. That's
Definitely.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it took a
Yeah.
lot of thought. Took a lot of thought with this
That was good. It's
Yeah.
funny. I didn't start watching SpongeBob until like maybe the third season. Then I went back because my daughter would
one.
watch it and she thought it was hilarious. And it's one of those shows where after like getting through the second season, I was like, okay, I get the picture now. I
That's
get
what I'm
it.
saying.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
I don't have to ever watch it. She's like, no, but
Yeah.
there's more seasons. And I was like, but Daddy don't have to watch any more of it. I think I'm good. And The Simpsons is one of those too. You're right. It's
Yeah,
The
like
Simpsons. Oh no, you're right.
you've done so much. And
Right.
like, don't get me wrong, that show broke barriers. We wouldn't have Family Guy without The Simpsons. In my opinion,
Yeah.
we
Mm-hmm.
have Bob's Burgers without The Simpsons.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
they
Yep.
really paved the way for a lot of great entertainment that we have now. Hell, I don't even think we would have Rick and Morty without The Simpsons.
No, you're right.
The way,
Yeah.
the
I
way,
agree.
the way they
I agree.
transgended, they transitioned. That's a better
Yeah.
word, into different like universes and stuff. Because that The Simpsons were the first cartoon to do that.
Yeah.
But you can only go so far with the jokes and so far with the people you have to portray the voices with that. So
Yeah.
That's good. No, you're right.
that's it, man.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we move on.
Ooh.
All right. Now, this is a topic that I really wanted to get into. When it comes into stuff that we see adapted all the time, like when it comes to our favorite books, into our favorite like TV shows, video games, into film and TV adaptations that we really want to see like go into fruition. Some stuff's been good, some stuff's been really bad. But what has been the untouched? Some untouched franchises that we see potential in becoming into a TV show, becoming into a movie. Um, any picks that you guys have off the dome. Do you want to just start off with me with this?
Why don't you start off? Because mine is still matriculating.
It's still marinating in your brain.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite video games as a little kid, well, teenager, can't say little kid. Max Payne. I think that would be an awesome movie / TV if done right, especially Max Payne 2, because it's a little traumatizing. Max Payne 2 was so traumatizing.
Wait, didn't Mark Wahlberg do the Max Payne movie, the first
one? He did?
Yeah.
It was probably bad and I didn't see it.
It was awful. No, it was awful.
it was god awful. Bad and I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, it was god awful. It was
because like the game, and to me, like that, just the storytelling, that whole thing.
Oh
it was just perfect. And
that
just
was a fantastic game.
But Max Payne 2 was such a better story in my opinion than Max Payne 1.
Yep.
And they had, spoiler alert, it's been 20 something years, so I don't feel bad. They had this traumatizing scene where he sees a murder in his brain, and you have to and you play the level as you walk down the stairs, and he envisions this murder going on, and it's so creepy just to look back at that and just to think, so many words I want to just like say right now, but I just can't think of the right words to say. But it was just so crazy because as a little kid, I didn't really like think that playing that back in the day. But now it's just like, yo, how come I didn't come into any trauma playing that game when I'm walking through that scene? But I think Max Payne is my pick. I didn't know about the Mark Wahlberg movie, so that's probably why they just shelved it immediately.
It was awful.
Find that anywhere.
It was awful.
So I gotta redo my pick. So my pick is a redo.
Yeah.
But that was just my pick off the top. So thank you for that.
Mine is kind of like mine is kind of a redo as well, because I think the original source material was so good, and the one attempt, sans Most Def, was probably one of the worst things that was released. And I've got to say, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I would love to see that.
I heard that was a good movie.
Show. It was no.
I heard it was a good movie.
No.
And I love that movie.
Okay, so it's been different. Okay, we got one who loves it.
It wasn't good, but
it wasn't good, but he loved it. That's because you love the book so much.
Yes, and there was some scenes that was like hilarious. Like the scene when they were like walking through that field and then the stuff would jump up and smack them. Oh my God, that was so funny. Like I'd watch that scene over and over again just to laugh at that. But I had such love for the books. And then the movie was such a disappointment.
I heard the books were great, as we hear this on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. But that's interesting. Take easy. All right.
Well, and Most Def was amazing in the movie. It was amazing. And I'm sure. I'm sorry. I'm referring to him as the former name. I apologize.
I'm gonna always call him Most Def. I'm sorry.
All right, cool.
Unless I see him, and then I'll be like, hey, I seen, hey. But so
all right.
I struggle with this because me being such a big fan of Marvel, and they have such a wide assortment of characters, but there's one character that I brought up before that I'd love to see his story played out, only because it has such a lengthy history. Now, mind you, as weird as this is going to sound, this is a newer history.
Okay.
But it's like kind of a retro history that they created. So the character Blue Marvel, Adam Bashir, he started off as this hero. He has like these incredible powers, right? He's like kind of a Superman contemporary, only like way more powerful in my opinion, plus smarter. He's possibly in the top 3 of the most brilliant minds in the Marvel universe.
Right.
Being Moon Girl, him, and then Reed Richards or Dr. Doom interchangeably.
Right.
Anyway, but what was really fascinating about his story was when he came out. He came out during the time when JFK was president, right? His character, the Blue Marvel, wore this outfit where you couldn't see his skin color. He was just like fully covered, but he was like battling some really serious beings. He had to fight against this character called Antimatter Man. And what was really fascinating about that was his best friend, and he was the only one that could possibly stop him. So he defeated him, but during the battle, some of his uniform had ripped, and you saw that he was a black man under it. That sent the world into an uproar because the government was concerned that during the time, because it was like a lot of racial divide, they were concerned that he would take the plight of black people and he would decide to, if we're being honest, his power was so immense, there was nothing that they would be able to do to stop him. Nuclear bomb, nothing. There was absolutely nothing that they'd be able to do to stop him. So that was their fear. So JFK called him in to give him a medal, but at the same time, tell him to retire. They made up this fabrication that he would be, they would tell the world that he died, but he would have to disappear. Now, seeing this played out in a movie, I think, or even a TV series, I think would be brilliant because it's kind of a period piece, but then it's not, because later on they have to hunt him down to save the world again.
Right.
And then they call him again to save the world, like later on. Like this they say they when they ticked off the Hulk and sent him off world, and then he came back as World War Hulk and was trying to rip people up. They called him. So when the Mad Celestial came, they called him. So the importance of his character, him, Black Panther, Spectrum, who's Captain Marvel, who became Monica Rambeau, not the other Captain Marvel. That Captain Marvel, those four plus America Chavez, they became the Ultimates.
Right.
And they were taking on cosmic threats. Matter of fact, which was really dope. Galactus became instead of a world eater, he became a world life bringer. So he was one of the Ultimates because of so I would love to see his story played out because that would be a wonderful way to bring that character into the MCU. He one-shotted the Hulk with an uppercut. I mean, and sent him to the moon. I mean, come on. This guy is immensely powerful, but he also saved the world from incursions and stuff because of his brain. He's the only person that Dr. Doom will say, yeah, he's smart. You know what I mean? So I would love to see that type of story in it. And even though the comics has been shown, they've never been in a cartoon. And I would love to see that as a movie or a TV series on Disney Plus. I think it would be phenomenal.
Right.
So that's my take. That's mine right there.
You know, I sometimes do this with people we have on the shows, and I'm gonna do it for you because I really think you're very passionate about it, man. So write it.
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean? Write it, bro. Like, I definitely think you can write it. You can tell that story. You know, you've completely. I want to know more about it. I want to find out more about it, just by the way you're talking about it. So why not do some sort of mock-up and write something up, write a screenplay up real quick or a treatment.
I could do that.
You know what I'm saying? Write a treatment real quick, and then see if you can market it. I think someone will pick it up. You know, if it's something that they already have the licensing rights to. Yeah, I don't see it faltering.
And this is one of those. And this is one of those characters because, like in the Thunderbolts that's coming up, they're already introducing a monumentally powerful character in the Sentry, right?
Right.
So they're already now starting to introduce characters. They got Hercules coming, yet another monumentally powerful character. But they're introducing these characters that not only have such power, but that can now bring the MCU up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Because like Marvel has this terrible thing of killing off the bad guys. Well, some of the bad guys in the comics, they have these long lives because they're so powerful, because they really struggle with them, because they, they're defeated, but they come back to fight another day. You know what I mean? And that's what I think the MCU needs. I think they need those, not only those threats that are like that, but they also need those heroes that can step up, because when Civil War was happening, the Hulk was off world and Thor was off world, right? That would have changed the Civil War completely.
Mhm.
Thor was so powerful in the comic books, he happened to be off world. Tony Stark got a sample of his hair and created a clone of him. Who had to stop that clone? Hercules had to wreck it, had to destroy it, because it was causing a problem, because it was doing Tony Stark's bidding. But introduce those monumentally powerful characters. You got the Thing coming with the Fantastic Four.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. You have all these powerhouses coming. Now is the time for Adam Brashear. There you go.
I agree.
Fair enough. Woo.
That was a lot.
Honorable mention, since Max Payne's already been a movie. Do you guys remember Duke Nukem? That old school
Duke
video
Nukem.
game? I think that would be a cool concept to do.
Wasn't The Rock in Duke Nukem?
No, he was in Doom.
He was in Doom, which was horrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem, I would love.
Good.
I would love.
I think like a John Cena can play a Duke Nukem, like a little bit like.
It would have to be campy as all heck.
Campy,
like,
charismatic.
Super campy.
He's the right person to do it, in my opinion. I think Cena can do it. If like John Cena can do a Duke Nukem, that would be awesome.
Him or Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes can do it. Yeah, Cody Rhodes. He got good hair. He got the hair for it. It's the hair.
And he has the hair. That's when
he got the muscles, the hair. Yeah, like a little like temporary tattoo on him. Like definitely do it. Yeah.
But
like
I loved that. That was my transition into first person shooters, because I didn't like Wolfenstein 3D, which was the original first person shooter game, right? And then they used it for the Doom engine and the Duke Nukem engine. And I was like, yes, Duke Nukem is dope. So yeah, I would love that as a movie.
Let's dig into nostalgia. Let's go ahead. Favorite toys / games we played as little kids that we can still play today and introduce into a new generation, or go one-on-one with the generation that we live with today now. What are some of those old school toys / games that we love that we cannot resist if we see in front of our face today? I will go first, since one is really excited and the other one has numerous decisions he has to make right now. I would go Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's one of my favorite toys as a little kid, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I haven't seen any recently when I go into stores, but I barely go into stores right now. But I really love the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That has been one of my favorite toys as a little kid. And I can go head to head with anybody when it came to the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And one thing I love about Rock'em Sock'em Robots, they had different variations of Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You had your Marvel, you had your DC, you had your
Transformer ones.
Transformer ones. You had different variety when it came to the Rock'em Sock'em Robots for them to fight, and you only had 2 buttons. You had the one for the left arm and the one for the right, and you had the little handle that you push so they can go forward and just fight each other. Rock'em Sock'em Robots was a fun time for me in my childhood. So that is my pick, gentlemen.
Dope.
Nice.
Dope.
Professor, I'm gonna go to you.
Okay.
I know you're smiling.
No, I'm excited because it's something that I'm currently doing.
I'm
currently doing,
which
is really dope. So back in the day, I had these Mego action figures, 6-inch figures, and they had the world's famous superheroes, I think it was called, or world's greatest superheroes. They had the DC line, and then they had the Marvel line. Well, the DC line, which is great, they did like a redo of them, like they're repros, but they started introducing other characters, which is dope. And you can get them on Walmart. Like they have like a 4-pack with like Green Arrow and Aquaman. But yeah, so it's dope. Right. But I had the Marvel one. I've been a Marvel head since I died, since I was a kid. So I'll be a Marvel head till I die. Seriously.
Right.
So
I understand.
So I started looking at prices and stuff because I wanted to kind of recreate like the Avengers. I had Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Falcon. So I had all of those, but I never got my hands on Thor.
Right.
And finding a Thor now, it's gonna cost a grip. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
it's hard.
But I didn't. I knew that there were like these websites that you can order, like repro the reproduction bodies, and there's another website where you can buy like the head sculpts and stuff. They're
Mhm.
3D printed. So I started collecting like I have like 3 websites that I'm going to order from, and I started putting them in the box, in the cart, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But those were my favorite, and people are collecting like the Funko Pops and the other action figures, and that's going to be my thing. It's something that I believe will never die, and the fact that they have like the newer head sculpts. So even though I don't want the older head sculpts, I get these characters that I had from back in the day again, and I get to, because they're not colored, like I have like my airbrush machine, but I get to color them myself,
Nice.
and I get to rebuild them. I buy the suits and then, configure them the way I want. There's a big body sculpt, so you have like the Thing and the Hulk and Thanos. There's actually a Thanos like bodysuit on in one of the websites, and I'm like, I'm getting the whole deal. So I made my list of characters. I put all the bodies in there, and
Mm.
I'm gonna recreate. But I think kids will love that. It's not just for the nostalgia of, people my age that
Right.
played with those,
Mhm.
but kids can now, because they're watching the Marvel movies. I guarantee you, my son, as an example, is going to go crazy when he sees some of the characters we watched in the MCU. But I think that right there from my childhood has never gone, because I think about like I also had like the original, not the small ones, but the big GI Joe figures, the Action Man GI Joe, and the $6 Million Man figure, and so those types of things, man. And Monopoly's still here, so I couldn't use that. The Atari 2600, you could be emulated. That's still here. You can't use that, but that from my childhood, I think should. I mean, it's such a popular thing with people like doing cosplay and stuff
Yeah.
and being able to buy. Matter of fact, you can, if you have a 3D printer, you can make your own yourself. You can
Yeah,
make
your
your own, you know
costume.
what I mean? Yeah, your own
Yeah.
costume, make yourself some, but yeah, that's my pick for my nostalgia that I think that kids could probably get with nowadays. I think it's dope.
You're next.
I'm gonna take it in a complete and total different direction.
Okay,
It
let's
was
go easy.
remade once and it was okay. It was okay, but I think it needs to be remade and the whole 9 yards because I had the toys, I had the van. You know what I'm saying? Like when I said, and we all know what I'm gonna say because I said the van. All right, we need a remake of the A-Team,
The
like
18?
Oh
hardcore.
yes.
We definitely need, the Soldiers of Fortune. It's such an easy thing, And now with it, Murdoch could be a hacker as well. You know what I'm saying? You could.
Yep.
Didn't
It's
they
so many different storylines you could
didn't
tell
they
right
try
now.
doing that a couple years back?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
it was a movie.
Rampage Jackson was in
Yeah,
it.
I
Rampage
believe, yeah.
Jackson
Yeah, he
and
was good. He was good
Bradley
in it.
Cooper. He was
Yeah,
good. No,
yeah.
and I thought the movie was pretty decent. Um, Funny you say that. When I was looking at my Mego figures,
Mhm.
they had vehicles, and guess what? One of the vehicles was
The
it was the
A-Team
Oh,
A-Team
van.
van.
A
It
team,
was the A-Team. It
yo.
was the A-Team van, and I was like, oh,
Oh.
maybe I should do an A-Team, figures
Well,
lineup. But yeah,
look, I'm such. If I ever have to get a minivan, I'm going to
Mm,
paint it like the A-Team van.
that's dope.
okay.
That's dope. Because I'm gonna get a mystery machine. I'm definitely gonna paint a mystery.
Yo, you want to know what's really hysterical about the whole mystery machine thing? We joke around, with Shane Penguin and everything that we're kind of like cartoonish and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
We actually had our first super like Scooby Doo show.
Oh, nice.
We opened for first Jason, who was the guy who played the first Jason in the movie. He's made a
Wow.
whole gimmick and like has
That's dope.
released records
That's
about being
awesome.
the first Jason and all this kind of stuff. And he's a guitar player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's nailing it on the guitar, and it's so good. It's so good to see, like so good to watch, and it's just amazing, like the whole principal aspect of it, and then to like get to know the guy behind it. Ari is such an incredible human being, But that was our Scooby-Doo moment. It was like we got to meet. It was like Shane Penguin and the first Jason.
That's dope. That's dope.
How tall is he?
He's about my height.
The first Jason?
Yeah. He's the kid that you see in the first movie.
Oh,
the deformed kid.
Okay, I thought it was like
the first Jason.
Yeah,
the funny part is,
Yeah.
I just saw a meme like a couple of days ago, and someone was asking if the character died as a kid, then why is he so big? Like,
Right.
and I was like, oh, that is a good question.
Yeah.
Nobody thought about that because he was just so menacing, but that is a great question.
You know what? Since we got some time,
Okay.
what because the idea is in my head, then you guys can think about it, and maybe the professor will think about it real quick. Easy, you're good at quick thinking too. Let's switch it up. We went from the best, in our opinion. Let's go to the worst. I think the worst toy in my childhood was the Gigapet. I never understood the Gigapet. It was stupid. I had one. I'm taking accountability. I had a T-Rex Gigapet where you had to take time to feed the Gigapet. It was like this little electronic handheld video game that you had where you just had to take care of an electronic pet. They had dogs, they had T-Rexes, they had different magical creatures that you take care of. I think that toy, when I look back into my past, was a waste of time. So the Gigapet is one of the worst toys I had as a child.
Facts.
My daughter accountability because I had
my daughter killed her Gigapet in an hour, and she never played with it again. Matter of fact, she lost it.
Yeah,
and that was that. That was a good one.
You see, but it's so interesting because you have like the Gigapets, and but we can sit in there and go, well, probably one of the worst toys ever invented was lawn darts. You know what I mean? Because people died. You know what I'm saying? You're like the Gigapet like annoyed me. Yeah. The lawn dart went through my neighbor's foot. You know what I mean?
Needle. Oh man, WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. 3 nerds venting, myself, Easy, and the professor. Professor, when you think about it, because you're good at these brainstorming kind of things when it comes to these topics that we provide, worst toy you had at your childhood that you don't want to ever see again? Two.
One.
Go ahead.
One, the Slinky. So Slinky. The Slinky, they sold you. Let's be honest. They sold you on this song. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
They did.
They sold you on this song.
They did.
Okay. And once you got one,
terrible.
Right. Once you got one, you tried it on the stairs, and the first time you did it, was like, and you're singing the song with it until it stops and it doesn't go all the way down the stairs, and then you got to go right. Wait, now I got to start the song over, and then you got to go back down and then hope it makes it. Worst toy ever. How we ended up with that, and oh my goodness, and worst toy ever.
Yeah, but it was so marketed well that when it was parodied, but it was parodied in Ren and Stimpy. It was Log. It's Log. It's Log. It's big. It's heavy. But it's better than bad. It's good.
The song made it so amazing that you could. And my runner-up for that one.
Yeah.
And I have such love for this toy, but Etch-a-Sketch.
Etch-a-Sketch. I like Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah,
but I understand the frustrating part because you're trying to make this nice drawing and it's frustrating. But when you get to hang, I get that. I'm 50-50 on it.
I've seen
I'm
magic.
50-50.
I've seen magic with Etch-a-Sketch.
Right.
Not from me, but other people doing right. Yeah. But I was trying to go outside, man. I was trying to go outside. Yeah. And I wasn't thinking about sitting there for 2, 3, 4, or 5 hours. You're making a masterpiece. If I couldn't get a Picasso the first time out within the first 20 minutes, I was done. I'd shake it and then it'd be all messed up. But yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, that one right there.
Okay.
Yeah. No, thank you.
That gives me an idea for an honorable mention for myself. But Easy, go right ahead. Your turn is yours.
An honorable mention.
No. You can think of your original idea, but after you're done,
I thought I gave. I said lawn darts.
Oh, you did say long darts, right? For
I
me,
did
all
say
right.
long
Then
darts.
for me, I'm gonna say my bad. I got a little lost because the slinky idea was genius with being the worst toy. I gotta go with Bop It. That gave me so much anxiety. Bop It gave me anxiety. Like the first 2 rounds were okay, but then when it got fast, and then like I don't know if I got carpal tunnel a little bit when I was just like going and with the different directions with Bop It. I hated Bop It. Like after that 3rd round, and the 4th round got faster, 5th round it got faster, 6th round, 7th round. It was infinity. It didn't stop. It was infinity when it came until everybody was tired. That's when the game ended.
Holy moly.
Well, you played a different Bop It than I played. Like we just talked enough trash towards each other that like someone would get frustrated and mess up. That's how we played Bop It. You say multi-rounds, like we were done in round 1. We were like, we exhausted. We exhausted. I'm tired.
My daughter
in the shin.
Yeah.
My daughter was a master at that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, like she was on like round 60 at one point. Like I didn't even know it went that high because the highest I ever got it was like 10, maybe.
Yeah,
same. But
same.
she was like twisted, and then boom, and after a while, it sounded like Bop It was like, could you just like lose, please?
Yeah.
That's how long she was a master.
Never ending. It was a never ending game, and you got so bad at it.
But yeah, I hated that one too.
Oh man, and what was that other one that I did not like at all? Skip It. It was Skip It. You
Skip It and Bop It. Yeah,
I bust my knee on
Skip It. I did not.
Yeah, I hate that game.
It's definitely you could hurt. I think I tripped on it one time. I was like, never again. That's what I never wanted it. I never wanted
one
it.
And done.
Like, thank God I didn't own the device. I tried it at my friend's house one time when I was little. Now then I attached it to my foot. Skip It, and then to the audience who does not know, Skip It was this game where you literally skip it, where you latch the device on your foot. And then you jump up, and then the device twists, and every time it spins the device, you jump up so you don't have to hit it. But when you hit it and fell on the ground, oh my God, it was not a good feeling. It was not a good feeling at all.
I can honestly say I've never played Skip It.
And you are lucky.
You're lucky.
Well, no, I was always like the 3rd or 4th person to go. And by that time, all my friends had already busted their butts. That I didn't have to go. You know what I'm saying? I've never been laughed at for Skip It. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I laughed at everybody else. I'd be like, you just tripped and fell. I'm like, all right, it's your turn. I was like, I've seen what you all did. I ain't gonna even bother with that. I am not here to tempt Satan. Satan is a lie. Satan is a lie. Satan is a lie.
It's funny because there were so many games that you could play, like, and so many. I mean, a lot of the games, again, growing up,
right,
early on, like in the 70s and stuff, a lot of the games were like, I know we had the Atari 2600. I had my first one when I was 8, and that was phenomenal. There was nothing stopping that. That was dope. I knew video games were here to stay after that. But like a hula hoop, nah, I could never get the hang of it.
Sir.
Wait. My daughter. Listen. No. My daughter was phenomenal with the hula hoop, but I couldn't do it, and it made me mad.
All right. Word. Oh, okay. I thought you had a problem with the hula hoop.
No, I thought it
I did too.
It was just
I did too at first.
It was just something I couldn't do, and it wasn't. And my daughter, who has rhythm and she has all this stuff, she was great with it. And I was like, how? Like, I'm a grown man. Like, and I'm like, could you teach me how to do? I could never do it as a kid. And and I still can't do it. But oh my God, that's one of those toys where it's like, it just lost me because I was mad because I couldn't do it. Rubik's Cube, same thing. No.
I hated Rubik's
What's
Cube.
crazy though is like Rubik's Cube now is so easy to defeat. My kids, they're like, I just remember the algorithm.
My son. Yep, my son.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, just put it away.
I gotta learn from them because I got frustrated. I just put it down after like 3 turns. Like, there's no way.
Did you ever steam yours?
Huh?
Did you ever steam yours?
Steam?
Yeah, you take it and you steam it so the sticker gets
stickers.
loose. You take the stickers off, and you just
then put them back on.
You put them back on. That's how you win it. That's how
I thought I was the only one that did that. Okay.
No, that was totally me. I totally did that as well.
Steam?
Yeah, you take the stickers right
the
off.
cube. Steal the stickers off and rearrange the stickers.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yo, and then
I solved it. Boom. There you go.
I solved it. Ha ha.
Yep. Sure did.
So
yes,
how? All right, easy. Honorable mention. Couple minutes. It's all you.
Well, I mean, honorable mention. Like, oh man, I think like one of the worst games was Jenga. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't like Jenga?
No, bro.
Jenga.
Bro. How many times have you been hitting the shin?
Hitting the shin
with a Jenga piece.
Never.
Never?
I never got
play combat.
Unless it's like the giant Jenga pieces that you see at the restaurants now. They have the giant
Jenga is terrifying to me.
It's terrifying.
Bigger than me. I ain't gonna do that. That's bigger than me. That's bigger than me. No, I'm good. The giant Jenga? Bigger than me. No, hands got to go above the head. No, that's because if that falls, it's taking me out.
Little piece Jenga you do not like.
Nah.
Wow.
I'm too Italian, bro. I'm way too Italian.
How did
no,
don't even put heritage or no, don't do that. Because I'm Italian.
Hilarious.
No, I'm not good. I'm not taking that reason because I'm Italian. I don't like Jenga.
I've seen with my hands.
I've seen Jenga unify race demographics. I've seen Jenga bring people together.
That's funny. Oh my goodness.
Yo.
Can I give you my honorable mention though?
You know what? We're at the 50-minute mark. We got like 5 minutes. Go ahead, Professor. Let's do this. Yeah.
The tic-tac-toe one. What is it? Connect 4. Oh my god.
You don't like Connect 4?
I hate that game. Oh my god.
You didn't like Connect 4? Wow.
Oh, I hated that game. Oh,
really?
Because it's so easy. It's so easy. It's just you unless you're there for someone that mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Like someone who will mess with you. And then when you get really good and you can mess with people doing Connect 4, oh dude, it's great. It's like checkers. You do some things and you get to say some things and then you get to wipe them all out.
Oh my goodness, I hated that game.
I don't know how to.
Oh,
okay. All right. One side's Jenga, one side's Connect 4, and we got both that agree on Connect 4. Like, wow.
We should do this. We should do this show live from ECG, from Elm City Games.
That would be cool. But wow, I'm a little lost for words.
I knew that was going to be a controversial one, but
I mean, for me, Easy agrees with you on this.
I got you.
They got this new Connect 4 right now where you can just take the board and turn it upside down, which is pretty cool, which I like because it's more challenging. So let's just say like you got this whole setup and the guy's like, nah, man, bam.
See, they're doing too much. They're doing way too much.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool, but wow.
They're doing too much.
I feel like that with Kit Kats too. There are just too many dimensions of Kit Kats. Like there's birthday cake Kit Kats. There's chocolate donut Kit Kats.
It's like with Oreos.
Those lemon ones are
fired.
Oreos now. The lemon ones are fired. The lemon Kit Kats, they're fired.
The lemon Kit Kats are fired, but like I don't.
But you're right. There's too many.
Yeah, you know.
The matcha and there's too many. Yeah, there's way
like that with Oreos.
And
like
everyone lies. No one likes matcha. No one likes the taste of matcha. They lie. They lie.
We'll leave that for volume 8. Volume 8, we're going to talk about food. That leads us for the next topic. Volume 8, we're going to touch into the food aspect. But,
oh boy.
Wow. My mind is blown. My glasses are off. This is crazy. WNHH LP 103.5 FM, Preston, Easy, Professor, Volume 7 wrap up of Three Nerds Venting. My God. That's all I gotta say. Thank you, everybody.
we're right about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just discount?